Welcome back to our Study on Spotlight episode. So today we have Melanie here.
Hello.
From Kingsley School with us. So from the UK. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, so I'm Melanie Gray and I work at Kingsley School's Director of Admissions, and we've been working with Dadi for many, many years and love visiting Hong Kong and seeing the fabulous team here.
Thank you. I mean, first question is, where's Kingsley School, of course?
Where is Kingsley? Kingsley School is in Devon, so Kingsley School is based in the beautiful coastal region of North Devon. So students that join Kingsley have an amazing experience where they're outside in the sunshine, lots of surfing. Believe it or not, 90 children surfed last week. So we are 3.5 hours away from London, but once students are in the school, they have everything they need locally. And they benefit from the beautiful beaches and fantastic outdoor life that we have at the school.
Yeah.
So
and
outdoor.
It's so close to Bristol and it's around that area, right?
It is, yeah. So we're close to Bristol Airport. It's about an hour and a half from Bristol, but actually close to Exeter as well. And also we have very good links to Plymouth, particularly for our surfing pathway and for our media studies. So it's a really good pathway to Plymouth and all the amazing things that go on there too.
Wow, but I mean, located in the coast, and that means water sports or anything is very popular in the students, right?
Absolutely. Our students get to do lots of outdoor ed, so really big in Kingsley is the outdoor programme. So obviously we're a school that offers A-levels, GCSE, 1-year GCSE, and we also offer BTEC. But students actually get to go out every day, so we have an incredible outdoor programme, which means either surfing or sailing or actually just being cycling out and about within the local area. So it's really good for the mind and body and soul. You know, we're nurturing them with a fantastic education pathway, but also, you know, for emotional well-being too, because it's important to balance academia against some of the outdoors and the beautiful coastal pathways that we are really close to.
Of course, taking advantage of the location, right? Do a lot of students, international students actually, do they tend to like doing any of those as well?
Because like kids in Hong Kong mostly doing sport indoors. And I don't know, do you remember, but back at the time in Hong Kong, if it's raining, we're not allowed to go out. So
Mate, I'm from Australia. What are you talking about?
Sorry, but you did study in Hong Kong for a while.
What are you on about?
But how about international students?
Well, you'd be amazed, and this is absolutely genuine. We had a girl that joined us last year. She's from Taiwan, and the reason she chose Kingsley was because of the surf. She hadn't surfed before, but she was really curious to try surfing, and she felt that balance with her academics. She's she's actually an Oxbridge candidate, so she's working through her Oxbridge application at the moment. But she surfs as well, and she goes out in all kinds of weathers, and what she's found, it's really benefited her well-being. And also we have another boy that joined us from Hong Kong this year called Josh, and he's gone into year 9 to study pre-GCSEs. And the reason they chose the school, he came over with his parents and his mother, grandmother and grandfather, so it was a big party of them.
Wow.
And they arrived at the school, and it was for the outdoors. They felt that he would be supported academically, but in his local school in Hong Kong, he was really confined. He wasn't able to get out and play, and he really loves to play football. And so now he's playing football. And I saw him just before I left for Hong Kong, and he's grown taller and slimmer, and he's really loving it, really thoroughly enjoying being outside playing football. So you're absolutely right. Mostly Hong Kong students like to play badminton or basketball, but actually, despite that, we've got students that are enjoying going out on the ocean, also playing football in the school too.
Yeah, we were talking about how the extracurricular benefits the student as well. And, I want to add on to it is, I think, because nowadays, academically, everyone has an expectation, especially, the better universities, top universities, they feel that, top academics is already normal. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
It's what makes you stand out. So how does extracurricular benefit that as well?
Yeah, because I think it shows more than just a one-dimensional character. I mean, as I was saying to Jade, it's great to be a really brilliant mathematician, but if you've got nothing else to bring to the party, so I think it shows universities that you've got interests in other areas. It shows that you've got resilience, that you've got the ability to keep on trying, and also that you're going to contribute to society as well. So university is not just about learning, it's also about growing and maturing, and actually then, taking on the next step, which is to get a job and earn money and be a valuable person to society. So I think extracurricular adds many things that maybe an interest you didn't know you had that maybe will help your future career. So I think it's really important to universities that you're not just an academic genius, that you actually have something more about you.
And it's important to get inspired by other things, like other disciplines as well. Because we were talking about like math and arts at the same time, but so often, let's say for the geometry and the art, how that involve and work together, and that's also involved in innovations, and that's what about the future, what university really looking forward to, and the societies as well.
Of course. I mean, from your experience, actually, because, of course, in Hong Kong, there are a lot of students who perform academically well, and then they take a lot of extracurricular, like music as well. But do correct me if I'm wrong, though. I feel like to a certain degree, it's the parents kind of putting those extracurriculars on them, but not necessarily that's what the students want. Is that still very common, do you think?
I don't think, because kids started from a very young age, so they get given the opportunity to experience that activities, but whether they love it or not, or whether they are being forced to stay on it. So it's just a question whether the child is really interested and keep going.
But when they go overseas, do you recognize that they should explore something new as well on top of that?
I do think going overseas, especially, there are activities that's not common in Hong Kong, or maybe we don't have the place or the chances to experience. Let's say sailing, rowing, that kind of, maybe horse riding.
Or team sports, you know, I think students that come from Hong Kong and maybe have done some sort of softball or, you know, just minimal team sport. But actually, you know, the benefit of being in a school overseas is the fact that team sport's so important. And even if they are not performing to the highest level, you know, maybe they're not, you know, in the top team for football, but actually taking part and understanding, you know, teamwork, and that has such a profound effect for their future, because you don't work in isolation. Even if you become a scientist, you might be working in a team, and it's knowing where your place is. So that's something I think British schools do really well, is that engendering everyone taking part and being valuable and your opinion mattering. That comes from all different areas, maybe sport, maybe from, you know, art, or, you know, many of the things that they will do as an extracurricular activity that kind of, hey, I'm really good at photography, and what that might open up to an individual that they may have not experienced at home. So I think it's great that Hong Kong students have parents that are so ambitious for them and encourage them to try lots of things. But also I think it's some of the softer skills they learn, like teamwork and collaboration, that's really important.
Do you reckon that there's like any set of like extracurriculars that are more beneficial for university application than, say, some that are not as good for the profile?
Yeah.
I don't know, would there be?
Well, I think, you know, like things like Duke of Edinburgh, you know, doing any of those where you're getting, you know, an award that shows huge endurance, like, you know, if you're going to get a Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award, you've shown a high level of endurance that actually I think universities would look on favourably. That person is someone that's really got something extra. So I think also, you know, going back to any university, if you've done something that's slightly different, as I said with Ari earlier, surfing, I think it would be a point of interest in your UCAS form, that if they saw that you've done something, so it might just, you know, just make you stand out from the crowd. So although I don't think it would deny you a place at university, I think it might enhance your points of interest that you've done something a bit different.
Yeah.
Or even charity work, you know, if that's something school add as an extracurricular, you know, through Duke of Edinburgh, you know, it shows another dimension to you that I think is really important.
Oh, actually, it's along the coast, but I mean, I've only been to the UK once, but it's always raining and cold. So how's the weather there, actually?
Well, the benefit of being in Devon is it is a bit sunnier than the rest. You know, if you think about Scotland, Devon is the opposite end of the country, so it's nearer France than it is to Edinburgh. So the actual weather is slightly better. It's warmer, it's bluer. Of course, it does rain a lot in the UK, but then the benefit of the rain is it's very green, it's very pastoral. So there are benefits, but the day's slightly longer in Devon.
Really?
Because the sun sets in the west and we're on the west coast. So our days are slightly longer and are slightly brighter than they are in other parts of the UK. So that's something to bear in mind. I know it can be really tough for students that come from a really warm environment like Hong Kong, you know, where it rains at certain parts of the season. They arrive in September and it doesn't stop raining. But, you know, we do actually get a bit drier weather there.
That's
So that's a tick in the box.
Amazing. What's one thing that you think most students, international students, when they get to the school, that they are not settling well with? Maybe homesick, or is it the weather, or anything in particular?
The food, I think, you know, there is, you know, the food is very good in all British schools, you know, have a really good diet. But I think, you know, children that come from, say, Thailand or come from Hong Kong are really used to spicy or really different, you know, it's very
aromatic.
Aromatic, more spices. So I think that can be quite difficult. You know, I do know with our students from Hong Kong, they like to add sriracha sauce to some of their food just to give it a bit of spice and heat.
I never do that.
That's just a tip.
Wow.
Sriracha and mayonnaise goes down well.
Oh, okay.
But I think in general, they, you know, they like to have a warm breakfast. You know, a cooked breakfast is something that particularly I think our students from Hong Kong enjoy. Something they have, you know, they don't want cereal and cold milk, for instance. So I think schools really try to adapt what we serve on the menu to cater for those tastes. But there can be some homesickness, but we try to counteract that by giving them lots of activities, giving them, you know, lots of things to do in-house. So hopefully within a few days, even, you know, as short as a week, they've actually settled into the routine of school and that feeling has gone.
Okay.
But homesick comes and back and forth. Like,
does it? I thought it's like, because you will first go and then you feel homesick. That makes sense.
Because different people like experience that homesick like in different times. Some people might be like in the first week, like just suddenly realize parents not around you, you're away from parents and all this, things that you're so normal to it. And some might just being homesick like a year into their time.
A year in? Yeah. Really? Oh, wow.
So it really depends, because I didn't realize, because when I first went into school, I say goodbye to my parents and they went for their trip in the UK.
Freedom.
And I was like, yeah, freedom. Hey, no parents, no any rules anymore. So I didn't realize that. I was like, that's fine, I'll be fine, everything's settling in, right? And then I think about after a week, I was calling my mom. I just suddenly cried for no reason and not realizing that really was homesick. And then I was back to normal, going to school and then making friends. And then maybe a year later, sometimes, sometimes
a year later?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's just on and off.
Well, I think we all, you know, I'm away from my family now and I've only been away for a week. But you do have, you know, you miss your family ties, don't you? But I think schools try as much as possible, and I don't know if that's your experience in your particular school, is try to recognise that. So amongst staff meetings, they might recognise, oh, Kathy's looking a bit sad at the moment. Can you just go gently? Can, you know, you look out for her, just make sure. And that's like what schools have a responsibility is to look out for those children who might be struggling at that time and give them the extra support they need. You know, it's the responsibility of the school to make sure the children are well and healthy and happy. So I think, you know, it's down to the school really to recognise that, you know, you're not okay and it's okay to feel like that.
Is
it's
homesick
normal.
very common then among international students?
I don't see it too often. I mean, occasionally. I don't think in all my time, and I've worked not in Kingsley for many years, I've worked at Kingsley for 2 years, but I've worked in schools for 25 years. I have seen only one child that's had to go home because they were so homesick.
Oh, okay.
So that's out of all the years I've worked in a school, only one child. And I know that's just my experience. I think schools are really good at managing it well and kind of giving that extra attention when it's needed.
Yeah.
Because homesick has like come up suddenly. But then because the school schedule is really busy, so once you get into other activities and being with friends, so you just forget about it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mom and dad, who knows?
Because they're still in their teenage years, so I feel like they're not very expressive in their emotions. So maybe when they feel it, they don't want to tell anyone.
They don't want to tell anyone. But although we do have sort of the reverse of that, we have one boy, Thomas, who's from Hong Kong, and he just said to his parents, I'd rather stay at school in the holidays because we have a holiday activities, so in the half terms. And he actually said to them, I think I probably won't come home until
that hurts.
summer. And it was at that time, it was probably about September. And we were like, nah, you might be. And his parents were heartbroken. But he was just like, I'm doing this. I'm just here now and I'm fine and I'm in the, and so I guess it depends on the individual.
He settled it too well. Now the parents are like...
Parents are missing the
Parents are like, are they going to come back?
They're redundant now. So that's pretty tough for them. So, and sometimes it's the parents that are home, miss their child so much, they hold their child back. So, you have to recognise where it's coming from sometimes. But, as a school that's been looking after borders for hundreds of years, you kind of know how it works. And so, I think they cope pretty well.
And it's not that difficult because we have like 3 terms or 3 term breaks anyway.
Yeah, but not, I guess.
So normally, like, if parents and students, they're okay, they probably come back to Hong Kong 3 times a year.
Yeah, so they actually see them more frequently than the parents think. But for parents, it's like, it's the first time that my child's overseas.
Yeah. And
even missing them a day.
They do miss them. But I think the benefit of being in a school like Kingsley, what we offer is we're in a town. We're not in the middle of the countryside. So students can go into the town with their friends. They're allowed to go out. There are supermarkets, there's shops, there's cafes. So our students are part of the community. And I think that helps somewhat as well. If you're not always in a school in the middle of the countryside, it can be a bit bleak. Whereas they can go into the local town, they can go to the supermarket. We've even got a Chinese takeaway. So they can get, food that is familiar to them, Cantonese food, and just sort of feel a little bit more like, this is home. And we also do things in school to recognise their heritage. Like we have Chinese New Year, we celebrate that as a school, and that's a really big thing at Kingsley. And everybody loves it because all the food, all the students, whether from Spain, Germany, England, Armenia, Czechoslovakia, they're all eating the same food, and our Chinese students are involved in preparing it and cooking it with the catering staff. So they feel very proud of their heritage on those days. So we do a lot to kind of make sure that students are welcome and not, feeling alien in that environment.
Of course. I mean, does that mean students can go to the town anytime, or do they need supervision then?
A sixth form have certain times they can go into town, and they are able to go. 2 of them go into town, or even maybe 1, because sixth form have more privilege. So they have to have their phone, they have to be contactable, and they have certain curfews. When they're younger in the school, they're allowed to only go with another student, maybe 2 students. So we kind of make sure that they're always accompanied, and we know where they are. But as sixth formers, we're preparing them for university, and it's a very safe town. So, they can't get into too much trouble. So, we're really making sure that they're able to go and do the things they need to do, go to the doctors if they need to go to the doctors on their own, not always accompanied. So I think at sixth form, we've got to get them ready.
Of course.
It's a life skill.
It's a life skill. But, compared to Hong Kong, Bideford is very quiet and safe.
Oh,
because,
really?
Because seeing a doctor in the UK is a bit different than in Hong Kong, because we just walk into clinics if you're getting a headache or fever.
So you don't walk in here? Or?
No.
You have an appointment.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Same as Australia.
Of course.
Nothing different. But it's that it is a life skill that they have to learn how, and also as well as getting to the pharmacy after for the prescriptions, because they're not the same place.
No,
they're separate.
No. It's a bit different in the UK, but we register all our students as they come for borders at a local doctor's. I have to let them know each year what the numbers are. It's included in the fee. Right. So our fee includes the visa, and it also includes the doctor, what we pay for their medical cover, so they can go to the local doctors. So we do all that arrangement for the students. So it's not something they have to find on their own, but they can walk to it on their own. They don't need to tell a member of house staff that they're going to see the doctor. If they need to, they can go. So some of the things that we do at Kingsley, it is a safe community.
I mean, I guess, so to wrap it up, is there any final messages that you want to tell the audience or parents as well?
Well, I think it's important to look at a variety of schools and not just look at schools in London. You know, we are a long way from London, but then it adds another benefit. They're near the sea, they're in a really safe environment, they are near activities that are going to do good for their body and soul, help them grow, you know, all of these things, lack of pollution. And in a tight-knit community like Bideford and Kingsley School, we really can nurture the individual as opposed to being one of many. You know, I think there's some of the advantages of being in a smaller school is that the individual can be recognised and developed as a person.
Amazing. Well, thank you again, Melanie, for your time.
Thank you, guys. I've really enjoyed this. I could do this all day.
Amazing. So to the audience, if there's any questions about Kingsley, feel free to contact us on Melanie, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.